It's Monday, the start of the business and markets week here on Frontier. Opening bell. Welcome everyone to the show. It's the 18th day of November. What do we have on the deck this morning just to get through our trading day for Friday? We're starting from Sunday with the Egyptian stock market starting the week yesterday, 31,352 on the EGX 30, down by 0.67%. We'll see how the rest of the Northern African markets will open today and see whether the EGX 30 would make a return into the green territory. Friday, the Nigerian stock market was 0.51% better, chasing the 98,000 index as we get to the middle of the new month and now entering the third week effectively from Wednesday. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was soft by 0.4% Friday, while the Nairobi stock market was in the red by 0.3%. The Johannesburg stock market eked out just 0.05%. That's just a summary of your market look back to see how the weekend finished up. But what do we have on our radar to start? We got quite a whole lot. If you start with me from East Africa and Central Africa, where Ethiopia, according to sources within the country, says the recent macroeconomic reforms of Prime Minister Ahmed Abiy has raised the country's remittances inflows very significantly, and it's also been able to help to narrow the rate between the official and the parallel market the currencies window. Within the region, Rwanda and Poland signed bilateral air service agreements, while Uganda says it wants a speedy legislation, that's according to the head of the parliament, on artificial intelligence as well as data governance, looking to rein in any intent to behave within the tech sector, digital as it is, as it were, artificial intelligence, all of that data in the East African countries. So Uganda is taking a very quick step in terms of let's get legislation on board very quickly. Kenya's recruitment drive for jobs abroad, roughly 40 countries, is expected to start on the 20th. That's on Wednesday. Keep an eye on that. Let's get to West Africa and just get a few headlines. In Nigeria, Nigeria's inflation is expected to go up 2.43% this month, and that for the year should be an average of about 34.9%. That's according to one of the investment banking houses. That's according to Codros Capital. This week, markets will be largely influenced by the Debt Management Office floating the country's FGN bond for November. That should be on the street today until Friday. They have the central bank also on Wednesday looking to do about 120 billion thereabouts in the NTB primary treasury auction. Those who headline the fixed income and the money market for this week. We're expecting a new listing on the Nigerian exchange also on Wednesday. Looks like a very busy week there. UBA Group is in the market raising 240 billion naira via rights issue to existing shareholders. And MTN Nigeria says it's completed its short-term borrowing through what they call commercial papers. That's roughly 75.18 billion in local currency. And in Mali, the authorities, the military junta says the Australia's Resolute Mining must pay the disputed $160 million tax that's been slammed on the resource company. And finally, in the region, Liberia has launched a 7 million euros food safety initiative. Let's move to Southern Africa this Monday and grab a couple of headlines. Again, we've got a number of economic data and news in our crosshairs, starting with South Africa itself, where Eskom comeback is beginning to look very robust. And the country says in the new report that there will be no load shedding in South Africa until 2029 if the current reforms and turnaround in Eskom stay on track. South Africa's central bank is forecast to cut interest rate on Thursday by 25 basis points to 7.75%. That'll be second rate cut in the second half of the year, and that will be done for the full year 2024. Standard Chartered says it's banking on the wealthy Africans to drive growth within region, despite spinning off at least 5 of its operations across the continent. The Zimbabwe's finance minister, Mthuli Dube, says the economic situation in the country is looking up, and that's on the fact of the country is looking at least 2% full year 2024 economic growth. And those announcements came in over the weekend. And finally, the S&P says Mozambique's political unrest on the back of the recently concluded political election being disputed could push the country's economy into a debt default. And finally, in North Africa, let's just move there with Sudan introducing, that's the central bank, introducing a new SDG 1,000 banknotes. The idea is to curb legal trade in foreign currency. The country, while Tunisia is looking at energy transition fund services now online, are very accessible to anyone within the country. The biggest economy in the region, Egypt, wants a stronger cooperation with Azerbaijan's oil and pharmaceutical sectors. And that's the key takeaways for Egypt from the COP19 summit, the United Nations Conference on Climate, that's just been done in Azerbaijan. And finally, South Africa's e-commerce company Pargo has stepped into Egypt with about $4 million investment. And those are your headlines to start the week here on Frontier Opening Bell. Do have a great week, everyone. From Frontier Africa Reports, we wish you a very great week ahead. Bye for now.